What is psychological projection? Psychological projection is a defense mechanism that humans use to deal with uncomfortable emotions or traits by attributing them to others. It is a common phenomenon that occurs when someone refuses to acknowledge their own faults or negative qualities and instead projects them onto someone else. In essence, the person who is projecting sees their own unacceptable thoughts or feelings as originating from someone else. This concept was first introduced by Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, in his 1895 paper, A Project for a Scientific Psychology. According to Freud, projection is a way for individuals to protect their ego and maintain their self-esteem. In his view, humans have a natural tendency to project their own unacceptable emotions and traits onto others, which allows them to avoid facing their own flaws and weaknesses. In psychology, projection is considered to be a defense mechanism that is used by individuals to deal with negative emotions. It is often used as a coping mechanism to help individuals avoid confronting difficult emotions such as anxiety, guilt, or shame. By projecting their own negative emotions onto others, individuals are able to distance themselves from these emotions and avoid feeling the discomfort that comes with them. For example, if an individual is feeling guilty about something they have done, they may project that guilt onto someone else and accuse that person of being guilty of the same thing. By doing this, the individual is able to avoid confronting their own guilt and can instead focus on the perceived guilt of the other person. Projection can also be used as a way to deal with negative traits or qualities that an individual may possess. For example, if an individual is prone to being dishonest, they may project their own dishonesty onto others and accuse them of being untruthful. By doing this, the individual is able to avoid facing their own dishonesty and can instead focus on the perceived dishonesty of others. Another way that projection can manifest is through the creation of a false self. This is a self that an individual creates in order to project a certain image or persona to the world. It is often used as a way to hide one's true self and to avoid confronting uncomfortable emotions or traits. For example, an individual may create a false self that portrays them as confident and outgoing, when in reality they are shy and introverted. By projecting this false self to the world, the individual is able to avoid confronting their own insecurities and can instead focus on the perceived confidence of their false self. While projection can be a useful coping mechanism in some situations, it can also have negative consequences. When individuals consistently project their negative emotions or traits onto others, it can lead to feelings of resentment, anger, and hostility towards those individuals. This can damage relationships and lead to a breakdown in communication. Furthermore, when individuals are not aware of their own tendency to project, it can lead to a lack of self-awareness and an inability to recognize and address their own flaws and weaknesses. This can hinder personal growth and development and can prevent individuals from reaching their full potential. In order to address the negative consequences of projection, it is important for individuals to develop self-awareness and to be able to recognize when they are projecting their own emotions or traits onto others. This can be done through therapy, self-reflection, and mindfulness practices. Therapy can be particularly useful in helping individuals to recognize and address their own projection tendencies. By working with a therapist, individuals can gain insight into their own thought patterns and behaviors and can learn strategies for coping with difficult emotions and traits. Self-reflection is another useful tool for addressing projection. By taking time to reflect on one's own thoughts and feelings, individuals can gain a better understanding of their own tendencies towards projection and can begin to work towards addressing them. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and yoga, can also be useful for developing self-awareness and reducing the tendency towards projection. By practicing mindfulness, individuals can learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment and can develop a greater awareness of their own internal state. In addition to developing self-awareness, it is also important for individuals to work on developing healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with difficult emotions and traits. This can include strategies such as journaling, exercise, and talking to supportive friends or family members. Ultimately, the key to addressing projection is to develop a greater understanding of oneself and to become more comfortable with the uncomfortable emotions and traits that one may possess. By doing so, individuals can learn to confront their own flaws and weaknesses and can work towards personal growth and development. In conclusion, psychological projection is a defense mechanism that is used by individuals to deal with uncomfortable emotions or traits by attributing them to others. While projection can be a useful coping mechanism in some situations, it can also have negative consequences, such as damaging relationships and hindering personal growth and development. In order to address the negative consequences of projection, it is important for individuals to develop self-awareness and to be able to recognize when they are projecting their own emotions or traits onto others. By doing so, individuals can work towards personal growth and development and can build healthier relationships with others.